One thing you often see in titles and headings in scientific documents is not just the name but a section number. Now, this isn't essential for smaller written projects, but if you're writing up your big end of year, fourth year project, or your industry report, or going into a PhD thesis, this was almost going to be essential for you because you want sections to be numbered. Now, by default, these headings, when we change them around, don't have numbers attached to them. So we need to give them a number. And in the Home tab of Word, we have numbers here, but we don't want just a straightforward list of numbers. We want something called a multi-level list. And now this is a list where you can, as you can see, have section 1.1, section 1.1.1, and so on. As a rule of thumb, don't exceed 4 levels. You can go as high as you like in this, but don't exceed 4. It's just to keep the document reasonably tidy. In fact, usually on the 4th level you don't put the number on because that's just a subheading to label your paragraph. So 1 to 4 sections is what you need. So if I click on that, I now have section 1 abstract. Now that number is now just applied to that paragraph, so I want to go back up to the headings, right click and update heading 1 to match selection, which is what we did earlier to change the formatting. And now what we can see is abstract has 1, introduction has 2. And if we highlight these figures, right click and update field, we should see that 0 now turned to 2. We've now included paragraph numbers in this. So right click, update field, our chapter numbers are given inside the figures. Really useful to say that this figure now belongs not just in this section but in chapter 2. Once again, we've got reference here, we can update field. But what about a second subheading? So introduction, what do we want to call this? Overview, maybe. Well, let's not play about with the formatting too much, let's just click it and give it heading 2. And what I want again is a multi-level list. So I want the same list, which is under heading, which is under the current list section here. But now I've given it the exact same as heading 2. So this is a bit of an issue here. What I want is, instead the multi-level list, I want to change the list level. So this is telling Word that it's not just 1, this is now the section something 0.1. So I want to select that. I want to change the formatting to get rid of the underline. I don't like it. And I also wanted to make it slightly smaller because it's a less important subheading. Now I go up to heading 2 here. Again, the automatic preview changes it to the default when I hover it, but if I right click and go update to match selection, I now have a second heading defined which has 2.1 in it. So I can now insert another one. Heading, it automatically sticks the number in because the number is associated with the paragraph. You don't need text for it. But I can do more science. Section 2.2. Now my results and discussion section. I can stick another heading and see it automatically changes it to section 3.1. So here is some first results. And again, we can stick subheading 3 on and type in new subheading or something along those lines, and select this to be a multi-level list. Change the list level to 3. Reduce the size, maybe take bold off, and update to match selection. So now that is our third subheading. I can go back up here and start adding a new set of subheadings. Again, section 2.11, section 2.1, section 3.11, and so on. And this can keep going on forever. So I have heading 3, subheading. Again, section 3.2, section 3.2.1, section 3.2.2, and we're now starting to see that the document's got quite a bit of structure to it. So let's zoom out and have a look at it. In fact, here we don't need to go read this into too much detail. We can see some structure to the document. We know that this is a section. We know this is a new section. We know this is a section that we can use, and it's incredibly powerful. So please do begin to use this and get used to using it.